What happened to me, that counts. That matters. And if me sharing how I've come on the other side of that helps someone, then it's worth it. Today, I want to talk about using your YouTube channel to reclaim your trauma. That may sound quite intimidating and quite impossible, and it's obviously not for everyone. But I truly do believe that there is some real power in reclaiming trauma. So what does that even mean? Like, for a lot of people, trauma is something that they just want to get over, forget about, not let it hold them back in their lives, and just live their lives as best as they can. But some people want to give their trauma some meaning, and they want to use it to help other people. And that's what that means to me. This thing that happened to me, it wasn't fair. I didn't deserve it, and I don't want anyone else to feel like they deserve it, or that they're alone with their problems, and that they're the only one that's ever felt that way. I have some questions that you can kind of ask yourself to gauge if this is for you, if this is something that you would ever consider doing in the future. The first question is, how much power does your trauma have over you? Are you able to talk about it without crying? And that's not a prerequisite, of course. There's nothing to be ashamed of in our tears. In fact, being willing to share our tears is a very, very powerful thing. Showing that vulnerability can really speak to someone else's heart in a deep way. Have you ever told your story before? Like, to anyone or just to close friends? Have you ever spoken in front of a group of people and shared your story in that way? But even taking it much further back than that, have you acknowledged your story to yourself? Have you faced that trauma, looked it in the eye, and said, I didn't deserve that. There were people in my life that should not have done what they did, that should have helped me, that should have protected me. Have you done that deep work of loving yourself, forgiving yourself? Even though sometimes we had no control over what happened, we still want to hold guilt against ourselves. Have you forgiven yourself and said, I did the best that I could with what I knew, with how old I was, with where I was mentally? That's a very, very important first step, I believe. Learning to love ourselves, learning to appreciate ourselves, learning to give ourselves the comfort and care that we needed when we were in a hard time that we didn't get, and just appreciating who we are. This is a lot deeper than YouTube, isn't it? Well, that's what we do over here. These are the videos that I'm passionate to make. What do you wish that other people who've been in similar circumstances to you knew, or people that are in a similar circumstance to your trauma? What do you wish that they would know right now? I think that is a huge part of reclaiming trauma, is to imagine that person on the other end of the camera that has not dealt with their trauma and feels alone in it. To think of what you would say to them, and just to tell them you love them. Like, when I think of people feeling lonely, feeling discouraged, feeling not able to share their story because they're so inside of their head that they just are frozen from hitting record, I love them. I want them to know that they can do it and that their story matters. And there's just so much competition that goes on in the world and in our brains of, oh, well, my trauma's not as bad as that trauma, so it's not a competition of pain. It's just validating ourselves and our stories and saying, hey, what happened to me, that counts. That matters. And if me sharing how I've come on the other side of that helps someone, then it's worth it. It's always worth it. A really big question that is in my heart about all of this is, when you were in the thick of it, what do you wish someone had said to you? What do you wish that someone would say to you now? Wow. These things are just so powerful. They just like hit me. But that's how important it is. That's why I had to start this channel. That's why I upload to it every week pretty much. Is that I want to be the person that says the thing to you now that you need to hear, that encourages you to take that next step and make that video that could change someone's life, that could literally save someone's life. I'm currently doing this on my main channel. I'm doing a series of reclaiming trauma, and I'm giving a voice to people. I also do podcasts over there, and hearing people's stories and hearing how their lives got better and how that trauma didn't swallow them up. They got free. That is why I'm living. I mean, you know, obviously to take care of my kids and love them and tell them that they're wonderful and loved every single day. I'm not like ranking YouTube above my family. The sense of purpose that doing that, these 2 YouTube channels that I have, it's really, really important to me. Like I talked about in my last video, it wasn't just confidence in front of the camera, it was getting to the heart of confidence and the heart of your identity and your message. When you're going into your video with this mindset that there are people out there that need to hear it, you will get the confidence that you need to put it out there. You will find the strength to do it. Why should we do it? Because there is a lot of toxic bullpucky out there. Like a lot. There are some messed up opinions on the internet that are toxic, that are dangerous, that are belittling people, that are killing people, that are stirring up hatred against minorities and LGBTQ people. And it just, for however much darkness is out there, we need to put that much more light out there. Thank you for coming to my TED Talk. But will you join me in calling out toxic thinking and thinking of the people that need to hear the message and putting your heart out there for them? Will you join me? In my next video, I'm going to talk more about the details of doing it, some more practical help and support. So I hope you will stay tuned for that. You should definitely check out my last video about confidence on camera. Thank you for being here.